Arctic without ice, changes will happen faster than expected. Over the next decade, there may be a shortage of sea ice in the Arctic during the summer months, scientists warn. This is much earlier than previous forecasts predicted. And all because of climate change. The Arctic is changing rapidly. Sea ice is getting thinner and less abundant every year. This is due to rising temperatures around the world. The temperature increase in the polar regions is much faster than the global average. But it could be even worse. According to a new study conducted by scientists from the University of Colorado in Boulder, there may be days without sea ice in the Arctic during the summer months within the next 10 years. The findings, published in the journal Nature Reviews Earth and Environment, suggest that sea ice could run out much sooner than previous forecasts estimated. September in the Arctic is the time when ice cover in the region is at its lowest. According to new forecasts, there may be a completely ice-free September by the middle of the century. By the end of the century, the ice-free season could last several months a year, depending on greenhouse gas emissions. In a worst-case scenario, the Arctic could remain ice-free even in some winter months. For scientists, an ice-free Arctic does not mean that there will be no ice in the water at all. They use this term to mean that the ice cover in the region has an area of less than 1 million square kilometers. This threshold is approximately 20%. Minimum seasonal ice cover that existed in the Arctic in the 1980s. In recent years, the sea ice area in the Arctic Ocean was approximately 3.3 million square kilometers in September. Researchers from the University of Colorado at Boulder analyzed existing literature on sea ice forecasts and its extent in the Arctic. They also used climate models to assess how the region might change in the future. Analyzers have shown that the first ice-free day will occur within the next few years. Depending on the amount of greenhouse gas emissions, September will be permanently ice-free between 2035 and 2067. In the worst-case scenario considered, by the end of the century the Arctic will be ice-free from May to January. In milder scenarios during the period under consideration, the region will be ice-free from August to October. It is important to predict when we might observe the first ice-free conditions in the Arctic, which will be visible in daily satellite data, said Alexandra Yan, lead author of the study. As Yan admitted, greenhouse gas emissions are the main factors contributing to global warming and sea ice loss. Decreasing ice cover increases the amount of heat absorbed by the ocean, which only fuels ice melt and Arctic warming. The loss of sea ice has a significant impact on the animals living there, whose survival depends on its extent. Researchers also fear that as waters warm, invasive species may enter the region, and their impact on local ecosystems is unclear. The loss of sea ice also poses risks to communities living in the Arctic, especially near the coast. Sea ice acts as a natural breakwater and significantly mitigates the effects of wave action. While an ice-free Arctic is inevitable, Yan says future emissions levels will determine how often such conditions occur. In a worst-case scenario where the Arctic is ice-free for 9 months, The conditions would completely transform the area. This would transform the Arctic into a completely different environment, from a white Arctic to a blue one. So even if ice-free conditions are inevitable, we still need to keep our emissions as low as possible, Jan said. The good news is that Arctic sea ice can recover quickly if conditions are right. Unlike the Greenland ice sheet, which took thousands of years to build, even if we melt all the sea ice in the Arctic, it could come back within 10 years if we can figure out how to efficiently extract CO2 from the atmosphere, Jan explained. A loaf from 8,600 years ago. The oldest bread in the world was found in Turkey. In the ancient city of Çatalhöyük, located in what is now Turkey. Scientists found a loaf of bread dating back 8,600 years. The authors of the discoveries claim that it is the oldest bread in the world. In 2021, in the ruins of Çatalhöyük, archaeologists came across the remains of a furnace adjacent to residential buildings. Around him they found wheat, barley and pea seeds, and inside a spongy mass which, after detailed analysis, turned out to be a piece of bread. Thanks to the unique conditions in the remains of the oven, the ancient bread survived in relatively good condition for thousands of years. Laboratory tests have shown that this bread was prepared around 6600 BC. Thanks to careful documentation, it was determined that the small, round, spongy find discovered in the corner of the oven was bread. The fact that the structure of the oven, editor's note, was covered with a thin layer of clay made it possible to find all the organic remains, both wood and bread. This allowed us to preserve them to this day, admitted Dr. Ali Umut Turkcan from Anadolu University in a statement. Turkcan described the find as the oldest bread in the world. But in 2018, 14,400-year-old remains of bread were found in Jordan. More on this in the text. Bread was baked 15,000 years ago, even before the advent of agriculture. However, as it turns out, the find from Çatalhöyük is a more advanced product. Turkcan explained that the first samples of sourdough bread were found in Egypt, but the find from Çatalhöyük is older. We can say that this is the oldest bread in the world. Taking into account the observation, analysis and dating of this organic residue, it is approximately 8,600 years old, he admitted. He added that a finger was still visible inside it. The bread was not baked, it fermented and survives today with the starch inside. Saleh Kavak from Gaziantep University, who analyzed the spongy material, did not hide his surprise. What's most exciting is that there are grain remains, ground and broken pieces of plants such as barley, wheat and peas. When we checked the ingredients, we saw various chemicals and fermentation indicators. Analyzers showed that this find was mixed with water and flour and left for some time, fermented and uncooked. The bread was in this form, prepared next to the oven, but not baked or boiled. It was an exciting find. Nothing similar has been found so far in this form, he emphasized. Catalhoyuk is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is considered one of the earliest centers of urbanization in the world. Scientists estimate that about 8,000 people lived there during the Neolithic period. The ruins were discovered in 1958 and excavations have been carried out there since then. The excavations themselves cover an area of approximately 13 hectares, but the city could have been larger. It reached its peak, according to scientists, between 6,700 and 6,500 BC. The population then declined rapidly. Around 5950 BC, Catalhoyuk was abandoned. Scientists found significant amounts of animal bones in the city, suggesting that its inhabitants domesticated animals. During this period, people moved away from the hunter-gatherer lifestyle towards agriculture. The discovery of bread remains suggests that they also began to cultivate cereals. The city lacks wide streets and generally looks like it was built without any plan. Some of the houses, which were built of dried bricks, could only be accessed from above, through the roof. A few years ago, scientists managed to reconstruct the life of the inhabitants of a Neolithic city. These studies show that they struggled with crowds, pollution and crime, i.e., problems that still affect large population centers today. More on this topic in the text. What was life like in one of the first cities in the world? Crowds, diseases and crime. "7 days without food. Scientists checked the body's reactions. During longer periods of fasting, the body undergoes significant changes in many organs. According to new research in which scientists examined the consequences of long-term caloric restriction, these analyses show that long fasting can have both positive and negative effects on health. Fasting has a long history. All over the world, people fast regularly for religious or health reasons. However, to date, the full biological consequences of long-term calorie restriction are poorly understood. In the new work, scientists from Queen Mary University of London, in collaboration with researchers from the Norwegian School of Sports Sciences, analyzed the systemic changes that occur in many organs during long periods without food. The results and description of the research were published in Nature Metabolism. This research advances our understanding of what happens in the body during and after long periods without food. New techniques that enable scientists to measure the thousands of proteins circulating in our blood have provided the opportunity to systematically and in detail study molecular adaptations to fasting in humans. In addition to the expected weight loss, scientists have observed many other significant effects of fasting. Lack of food has been the default situation throughout human evolution. and our bodies have evolved through a process of selection for high metabolic flexibility to enable us to survive long periods without food, the authors explain in the publication. For the study, scientists recruited 12 healthy people, 5 women and 7 men. They asked him to fast on water only for 7 days. The volunteers were closely monitored. Changes in approximately 3,000 different proteins in their blood were measured daily. These measurements are also performed after stopping fasting. By identifying which proteins are involved in the body's response to radical caloric restriction and integrating this data with genetic information, scientists have attempted to estimate the potential health effects of long-term fasting. As expected, the volunteers' bodies switched energy sources within the first 2 to 3 days of fasting and began burning stored fat rather than glucose. As a result, participants lost an average of 5.7 kilograms in a week. After returning to eating, the loss of muscle mass was almost completely reversed, but fat mass remained reduced. Scientists did not notice any major changes in blood protein levels until the 3rd day. Then the situation changed dramatically. Overall, 1 in 3 proteins measured changed significantly. This included proteins affecting all major organs in the body. Hundreds of compounds with enormous health impacts began to fluctuate wildly. These changes were consistent in all volunteers and concerned, for example, proteins that form the supporting structure of neurons in the brain. By comparing their findings with genetic studies linking different proteins to different diseases, the study authors were able to estimate the health consequences of 212 plasma compounds that changed during fasting. After 3 days of fasting, there was a significant reduction in the level of SWAP70 protein. Lower levels of this marker have been associated with a reduced risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis, RA, in other studies. The researchers concluded that this may at least partially explain the pain relief in RA patients during long-term fasting. During fasting, a decrease in the level of the HYOU1 protein, which has previously been associated with coronary artery disease, was also observed. This may suggest that long-term fasting may have a beneficial effect on heart health. For the first time we can see what happens in the body at the molecular level when we fast. Fasting, when done safely, is an effective weight loss intervention. Popular fasting diets claim to provide health benefits beyond weight loss. Our results provide evidence of such benefits. But they were only visible after 3 days of total calorie restriction, later than previously thought, said Claudia Langenberg of Queen Mary University of London. But scientists have also identified several negative health effects associated with fasting. During the fast, they noticed an increase in the so-called factor 11, which is involved in blood clotting, which may potentially increase the risk of venous thrombosis. While fasting may be beneficial in treating some conditions, it will not be an option for people with general poor health. We hope our findings will provide insight into why fasting is beneficial in some cases, which can then be used to develop treatments that patients can use. said Mike Pietzner of Queen Mary University of London. If fasting is done safely, and preferably under the supervision of a healthcare professional, it can have health benefits. However, its use should be carefully considered in each case.